As I promised last time, today I'm going to talk about artificial intelligence, or what people often call AI. For sure, artificial intelligence is a subject people tend to feel strongly about, and not just the scientific community, but sociologists and philosophers and economists, as well as the average person. And although this topic has received a lot of attention lately, in fact, AI has always been controversial. Back in the late 1970s, the workers' unions fought against the introduction of robots in car manufacturing plants because robots were putting a lot of people out of work. And you have to ask, why did the introduction of robots on assembly lines appeal to management? Of course, the bottom line is economics. Basically, the robots were more efficient and more reliable. They didn't ask for pay raises, they didn't get sick, or skip a day of work to watch the World Cup final, right? Well, how quickly things change. Today, we don't give robots in manufacturing plants a second thought. They're part of our culture now. And that's something to keep in mind as we talk about AI. How attitudes change over time as people get used to new technologies, and how new generations see existing technologies as perfectly normal. So we're going to explore the benefits and risks of AI. But before we do that, we want to understand the distinction that's often made between a weak form of AI and a strong form of AI. Weak AI refers to an intelligence system that is unthinking, unconscious, and has no self-awareness. It simply does something, usually a single task. Here I'm talking about vacuuming the home, navigating a route, parking your car for you, playing chess against you. A single task. A weak AI system does not have real intelligence in the way a human being does. They have no awareness of what they're doing and no choice of whether or not to do it. Okay? That's the weak version of AI. Strong AI, on the other hand, is more the stuff of sci-fi movies. Strong AI refers to an artificial consciousness. Strong AI is oriented toward creating a thinking, conscious machine that seems to be equivalent to a human being. A strong AI system knows it exists and wants to continue to exist and even evolve. If you've ever seen the classic sci-fi movies 2001: A Space Odyssey, I, Robot, The Terminator, or Her, you'll know what I'm talking about. The AI is developing a meaningful, even overpowering relationship with their human masters. As you can imagine, people don't worry so much about the weak form of AI. It's generally the strong form that gets people nervous. They imagine AI robots, for example, becoming smarter than human beings, developing themselves beyond the control of human beings, maybe leaving humankind out of control of its own destiny. Some writers have even claimed that robots will reach human levels of intelligence and consciousness within the next 10 or 15 years, a moment that has been described as technological singularity. This means the point where robots begin to outsmart humans by redesigning themselves without any further human input. And hey, that's a pretty scary thought, right? So, that's the big picture. But let's now go to some specifics. What are some of the particular benefits of AI? And what are the risks of AI? Let's look at just a couple of the benefits first. The first advantage I'd like to mention is the ability of AI-driven machines to deal with difficult, complex, and dangerous tasks that are currently done by humans. You can already see this, for example, with bomb disposal or the exploration of new planets. Also, on the plus side, there's the very real possibility that AI could lead to sophisticated techniques that would help us address global problems such as the depletion of natural resources, pollution, and climate change. For example, there are now robots that can go to the source of an oil spill in the ocean immediately, rather than waiting for days or weeks for humans to address the problem. And scrubber robots are being developed that can suck CO2 out of the atmosphere. Clever stuff. Although the potential benefits of AI are virtually limitless, a lot of people have been skeptical about the unbridled development of AI. One of the things AI skeptics have zeroed in on is the fact that machines lack emotion. Without emotion, an AI robot will not be able to sympathize with individuals in their unique situations, something that's essentially human and which most of us are very good at. This lack of emotion may lead machines to act over-rationally and, consequently, at odds with human interests. A computer-led future would likely be a very cold, impersonal one in that sense. Next is the concern about replacing and downsizing humans. We've seen how robots can free up humans to do other things. Think back to those car factory workers, right? The robots freed them from the monotony of assembly line work. Trouble is, although this freedom might seem like a good thing, it could also have a downside and lead to feelings of uselessness. And that could trigger mental illness, obesity, and other health and social problems. So that's another area of concern. And finally, there's the moral argument, a big one, especially in some religious communities. Some people believe that intelligence, intuition, and self-awareness are the universe's gift to humankind, and to try to replicate or even improve on them is like fooling with Mother Nature. It's morally wrong. All right, so where are we with all this? Well, we can't turn the clock back and uninvent artificial intelligence. Nope, that genie's out of the bottle. And let's face it, you can't stop progress. Progress takes on a life of its own. So perhaps instead of being reactionary, we need to get ahead of this thing. In other words, we, all of us, need to think about how we want AI to develop in the future and what the implications might be for human life. We need to understand the technology so that we can control it and help make certain that it's a benefit to humankind rather than a threat. And, of course, that's not just about the technology itself. It's also about being responsible as human beings in how we use it. And that's a topic we'll deal with next time.
Hi, everybody. So, I guess I'm the group leader today. So, we're trying to discuss AI, pros and cons, okay?
Right. So I think there are a lot of
Wait a
things-
second, Ben. I just want to set the goal here, okay? So, we're going to come up with a list of reasons to support or oppose artificial intelligence. So, Ben, you can start.
Okay, sure. So I think to me, this whole AI thing is pretty disturbing. I think we can all agree it's getting kind of spooky.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Spooky is the right word. I mean, I used to think that having smart robots to help humans would be so cool.
What do you mean by cool?
I think having robots make our lives easier, smarter, more entertaining.
But it sounds like, Kenzie, you don't feel that way, at least not right now.
No, I don't. After listening to that lecture, I'm not sure that being surrounded by intelligent machines is such a good idea.
But you want to be surrounded by intelligent people, don't you?
Well, yeah, but that's different.
You know, maybe we're all overreacting a little.
Yeah, maybe you're just thinking of those sci-fi movies like The Terminator or Blade Runner, where the robots get out of control. But that stuff is fiction, it's not real.
I get your point, but some of those movies are pretty close to reality.
Like what? What's an example?
Well, like in 2001, A Space Odyssey. It's kind of an old movie now, but it shows that a robot can make decisions by itself, even if the decision isn't good for humans.
Yes, actually that does scare me too.
Okay, so we can say this. One reason to oppose AI is that AI robots can make decisions that are bad for people. Okay? Any other reasons to oppose AI?